Inside the silent corridors of the Russian Empire, one name was whispered, a name that made some people admire him and others fear him. He rose from nothing, yet somehow became the invisible ruler behind the throne. Wherever he walked, destiny seemed to follow. Cities appeared, armies grew, and even monarchs changed their decisions with a single look from him. He was surrounded by secrets, hidden power, hidden love, a hidden marriage, and a legacy that time itself could never erase. This mystery has a name, Grigory Potemkin. Fact 1. From a poor soldier to one of Russia's most powerful figures, Grigory Potemkin was not born into wealth or influence. He came from a modest noble family and began his life as an ordinary soldier, fighting to find his place within the vast Russian Empire. But Potemkin possessed something rare, a sharp intellect, magnetic charm, and an extraordinary understanding of politics and human nature. These qualities set him apart in a world dominated by aristocrats and military commanders. His rise changed forever when he met Empress Catherine the Great. What began as a simple introduction quickly evolved into a powerful political partnership, and possibly something even deeper. Catherine recognized Potemkin's brilliance, and suddenly this humble soldier became irreplaceable at court. Over time, Potemkin transformed from a low-ranking officer into a master strategist, influential statesman, and one of the most trusted figures in the empire. He didn't inherit power, he built it himself step by step until he became a man whose decisions reshaped regions and altered the destiny of Russia. Fact 2. Catherine the Great's secret companion. Grigory Potemkin was not only a powerful statesman, he was also one of Empress Catherine the Great's closest companions. Their relationship went far beyond politics, and for decades, rumors whispered through the palaces of St. Petersburg. Many historians believe that Potemkin and Catherine shared a deep emotional bond, one hidden from the public eye but undeniable in its influence. Some even claim they were secretly married, a union kept away from prying eyes to protect the empress's authority and the empire's stability. Potemkin became Catherine's confidant, the person she trusted with her most sensitive decisions, her ambitions and her fears. In an era where power was often cold and ruthless, their connection stood out as something rare, intimate, and mysterious. His influence over Catherine was so strong that courtiers often said, "Where Potemkin steps, the empress follows." And in many ways, this wasn't an exaggeration. His presence shaped policies, campaigns, and the future of Russia itself. Fact 3. The architect behind Crimea's annexation. In 1783, the annexation of Crimea became one of the most decisive moments in Russian history. And standing at the center of this major shift was Grigory Potemkin. Potemkin did not view Crimea as just another territory. He saw it as a strategic treasure, a key to Russia's future power. He understood that controlling the Black Sea would elevate Russia into a major European force. To achieve this, Potemkin crafted a complex plan involving diplomacy, military strategy, and secret negotiations. His approach was bold, risky, and highly controversial, but it was also brilliantly executed. The result was exactly what Potemkin envisioned. Crimea came under Russian control, giving the empire full access to the Black Sea for the first time. This single move reshaped the balance of power in the region and cemented Potemkin's legacy. He wasn't just a politician. He was a visionary strategist who expanded an empire with intelligence and daring. Fact 4. The legend of the Potemkin villages. Grigory Potemkin's name is not only tied to politics, it is also connected to one of history's most famous myths, the Potemkin villages. According to the legend, Potemkin built fake, decorative villages along the Black Sea coast to impress Empress Catherine the Great during her inspection tour. The story claims these villages were nothing more than facades, beautiful on the outside, but empty and impoverished behind the scenes. It was said that Potemkin wanted to create an illusion, a perfect stage set to hide the reality of poverty and instability. However, many historians today argue that this myth was exaggerated. They believe Potemkin did not construct fake villages, but rather initiated rapid development projects in the region. Projects that appeared too sudden and too polished for outsiders. Still, the term Potemkin village entered the world's vocabulary, symbolizing any situation where appearances hide the truth. This myth made Potemkin's name unforgettable, turning it into a metaphor rather than just a historical reference. Fact 5. Potemkin's religious beliefs and spiritual world. Grigory Potemkin was known not only for his political power, but also for his deep spiritual side. He belonged to the Russian Orthodox Church, yet his faith went far beyond rituals and formal practices. It was something personal and inner. Potemkin often saw himself as a leader guided by a spiritual mission. To him, expanding the empire was not just a political goal. It felt like a divine duty, a responsibility entrusted to him by a higher power. Because of this, he supported the construction of churches, encouraged the clergy, and promoted Orthodox traditions throughout the regions he governed. He believed that spiritual unity was one of the strongest tools for uniting the Russian people. At the same time, Potemkin was highly pragmatic. He understood that religion could also strengthen political influence, and he used religious ceremonies, church alliances, and sacred symbolism to reinforce his authority. His faith, therefore, was both sincere and strategic. He believed deeply, but he also knew how to turn belief into a source of power. Fact 6. Potemkin's personal life and the mystery surrounding the court. Grigory Potemkin's personal life was shrouded in secrecy and intrigue. At court, he was seen not only as a powerful politician, but also as an enigmatic figure whose true nature few understood. His home was often filled with high-ranking nobles, diplomats, and officials, yet very little was known about his private moments. Potemkin deliberately kept his personal life hidden, presenting himself almost as a political symbol rather than a man with emotions and relationships. Rumors circulated constantly. Some whispered that he belonged to secret circles. Others claimed he had devoted his entire existence to state affairs and had no personal life at all. One thing, however, everyone agreed on: Potemkin possessed extraordinary charisma. His voice, his gaze, his presence, all drew people in while simultaneously intimidating them. He held not only political power, but psychological influence. At court, Potemkin could shift conversations, shape decisions, and change the atmosphere simply by being present or by choosing to remain silent. Because of this, many called him the invisible ruler. Sometimes his influence came from his actions, sometimes from his absence, but always from his undeniable aura. Fact 7. The cities Potemkin built. Architect of New Russia. Grigory Potemkin made history not only through political power, but also through his extraordinary ability to build. He didn't just create strategies, he created entire new worlds. Potemkin founded completely new cities along the northern coast of the Black Sea: Yekaterinoslav, Kherson, Nikolaev. These cities seemed to appear out of nowhere, rising suddenly through Potemkin's carefully crafted plans. These construction projects amazed Europe at the time. People said Potemkin created cities out of thin air. He turned each settlement into more than just a place to live. He made them pillars of imperial strength. His goal was simple: to make Russia powerful in the Black Sea, strengthen the economy, and establish new imperial centers. These cities were a reflection of Potemkin's mindset: strong, strategic, well-planned, and visionary. At times he acted as a commander, at times as an architect, and sometimes as the empire's invisible builder. Fact 8. Potemkin's invisible state, his own private network of power. Grigory Potemkin did not rely solely on official state structures. He built his own mini-empire, and this empire did not sit inside palace walls. It spread across the entire Russian territory. He had his own special Cossack troops, his own intelligence network, his own administrators, and his own flow of information. This network gave Potemkin not only power, but complete control over knowledge. And in those days, information was the greatest weapon. This invisible state became so powerful that Potemkin often appeared as a separate force within the empire. In some regions, he acted with his own rules, his own army, and his own strategic vision. Fact 9. Potemkin's ruthless symbol of power. Grigory Potemkin was admired, feared, and sometimes even hated, all at the same time. Behind his charm and intelligence stood a man capable of cold, calculated decisions. Potemkin understood one thing very well. Power does not always come from kindness. Sometimes power is born from fear. He eliminated obstacles not through open conflict, but through strategy, influence, and pressure. Enemies quietly disappeared from political circles, rivals lost their positions, and dissenting voices were silenced before they even emerged. Fact 10. Potemkin's death. Grigory Potemkin died suddenly and under mysterious circumstances in 1791. Many people at the time believed it wasn't just a natural death. His passing left a huge void inside the empire, as if an invisible power had vanished overnight. Potemkin disappeared, but his influence lingered for decades.